are again, part 2 of fixing the spindle on the sickle mower and the broken pitman arm box. Here's the 2 pieces I made. I finished them up this morning. These go onto this bearing coupler right here. Just want to show you how good of a fit that turned out to be. They turned out really nice for homemade crap in some guy's garage. Alright, and also got my bearing spacer I was talking about made. I wanted to show that. And we got a really good fit on there. This thing spins freely, but I can feel hardly no slop at all. It's just about right for preload. Not too tight, but not sloppy. I can go ahead and I'll go ahead and take that off and show you exactly what I was talking about, what I did. As you can see, I got it cranked down pretty tight, which is good because you can pull that pin up, the head of that pin up against the back of the pulley tight, and like I said, it'll give this shaft more support, hopefully. There's that. Okay. And all it is might be hard to get off. Yeah, it's going to be a little stubborn to get off. Okay, there it goes. I had to pause the camera and kind of work that loose. And all I ended up doing was taking a washer, drilling it out to fit our spindle. But you don't want too loose of a fit because you don't want that moving around and hitting your bearing cage and doing any damage to it. So I just cut it like 5 thousandths at a time after I got it close until I got what I felt like was a good fit. But you got that on there, and there's also a spacer behind it right here. And like I explained before, when you have all that together, all that pulls this pin up against there tight, and you get that much more diameter for support. It's kind of like having a bigger pin, I guess. And what I got to do next, I need to put this pulley on the mower, put this bearing assembly back together, and I'm going to line up my plates with the pitman arm on there and tack weld them on to locate them. I'll show you how I'm going to do that. So I'll be back after I get that set up. Okay, we got everything set up and ready to weld. Basically, all you can see what I did. It's pretty simple. I bolted the plates to the pitman arm. One thing I did do was stick a very thin washer. It's probably like 15 thousandths thick between this plate and the board, and I did one here on this bolt too. And I didn't get them super tight because I found out if you clamp something together like that really tight and then weld it up, the piece that has to go between these 2 pieces here, like this pitman arm in between these 2 plates, a lot of times after you weld it all up, it's too tight and you can't hardly get it in. You got to beat it in, and it's a pain in the ass. So I did it that way, hopefully after I get it all welded up. So what I'm going to do is, while it's set up like this, I just basically put it all together, hook the pitman arm on up down here, and I rolled this pulley up against this. Got it good and square. They're about where they were. And what I'll do is I'll just tack weld them on while it's all in position. After I get it tacked on real good and solid, I'll let it cool. And then I'll take my bearing nut off, pull that piece off. I'll hook my pitman arm down here. And then I can stick it in the vise where I can get to it and weld it a lot better. Okay, I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, we're back. It's about 6:45 Sunday afternoon. Hot, nasty, sweaty day. Been working all day on this thing. Got my pitman arm box welded back up. My welds don't look too pretty, but they usually hold. My old MIG welder's been giving me a little trouble, and my helmet doesn't work right. Plus, I'm out of practice. I don't do a lot of welding anymore. But it burned good and hot. Stayed on good and straight. I think the thicker plates on the pitman arm box end are going to be better, because I remember on those thinner plates, when you go to tighten those bolts down, it would actually push in the metal and it would kind of crush your board or your pitman arm rod. These plates here are good and thick. You can crank these bolts down as thick as you want. The bolts don't sink into the plates, and therefore it doesn't crush into your wood. But as you can see, I can turn it over by hand pretty nicely. Not much effort there, so that's good. And something else I found while I was lining this up to get ready to tack weld them on was I was looking at the alignment of that pitman arm rod along with the actual sickle or bar, and I noticed that bar was angled towards the front of the tractor badly. I mean, it was enough to where it could put things in a bind. And what I found was, you got two bolts. You got one right here and one on the other side that holds this blade on there. And I noticed they was loose, so I went to tighten them up, and here's what happened. I snapped it off. You can see how it wore. That used to be a 3/4 inch bolt. It wore it to that taper. I had a new bolt that I put on this side, and the blade's a lot straighter, but I'm noticing when let me focus this camera in here. Notice if I kind of hard to hold the camera steady and move the blade, but that bolt's loose too. I don't have another one here right now, but I'll pick one up after work tomorrow and take care of that. I think that's another issue that could have caused some problems. So we'll pause this camera, get the tractor started up, and I'm going to let this thing roll over for a little bit. Show it on film here. Okay, I'm sitting on the tractor. I'm going to go ahead and see how she fires up. Usually it starts pretty good. It likes to flood after it's warmed up, but it hasn't been started for a few days. There she goes. Here goes nothing. Well, you know what happened? I forgot to turn the fuel valve on. Hang on a minute. Okay, here we go again. Got it. Looking pretty good to me. I think we're going to be better this time. Let's feel a little better about it. Things always shake quite a bit. After the work I've done, it looks like it's shaking a little less. There's got to be less shock on it. Oh yeah, it is shaking less. Before, if you look at the front of that tractor, it would be moving back and forth by hand. Hoping that we took a lot of vibration out of it all. So let it run for a little bit. Okay, I'll get this video put up. Probably try to cut some grass with it Tuesday or Wednesday. Take a little clip of that. Hopefully everything will go good. That's all on the sickle mower repair.